guys, today I'm going to talk about the worksheet with the 1-point perspective letters. So this worksheet is a little bit harder than your boxes worksheet. And so we're going to practice doing letters in 1-point perspective because some people like to make 3D letters. So I want to point out on this worksheet, there are many vanishing points. There's not just one. So if I look here, it says vanishing point A. So this point is going to go with the A. This one says vanishing point L. This vanishing point is going with the L. This is for vanishing point W and for vanishing point E. So you're not having just one. It's 1-point perspective, but you're having multiple because it's almost like these are separate little projects. So if I look at my T here, I'm going to connect the vanishing point to the edges or the corners of my letter that are closest to the vanishing point. And then that is going to create a 3D effect. Sometimes it's easier to actually put little dots on the edges of the letters to where you're supposed to connect. So for example, let's say I was doing the E. The E is a little difficult, so I'm going to go ahead and start with that. I'm trying to zoom in a little bit. All right, so what I'm going to do is, you don't have to do this, but it makes it easier for some students. I'm going to put like a little dot on the points that are closest, and I could put one here, but I think it's just going to cross in the letter. All right, so all of these points are closest to that vanishing point. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler, and I'm going to make sure I'm on vanishing point E, and I'm going to connect those dots to my vanishing point. Now, there's going to be some issues here, and I did this on purpose so that you could see like what you shouldn't do and what you should do. So if I used every single point here, not all of them would be correct, but I'm doing this on purpose. Now, any line that crosses through the letter, you're not going to need. So if you notice right here, when I chose these two inner points, these lines cross through the E. So those aren't right. I'm not going to need those. So I can go ahead and just erase those from the start because I'm not going to need them, and I can go erase those two dots. There's no steadfast rule that I can tell you like which ones you're going to need and which ones you don't. But if it crosses through the letter, you don't need it. All right, so we are operating on parallel lines because remember, parallel lines are two lines that never touch, okay? So I take my ruler and I put it on the section of the E that I want. So I put my ruler on the side, I move it over, and I draw a little line. So right now, these two lines here, these are parallel. If I kept them going in infinity and beyond, they would not touch. And just to make it my life easier, I'm going to go ahead and shade in that little section so it's part of the E. All right, I'm going to go to this next section here. So this is the side of the letter that goes here. I'm going to put my ruler on the E. I'm going to move it down a little bit so I connect it, and I'm only drawing in that section. So I made a parallel line right here. So these two lines would never touch if they went into infinity and beyond. I'm going to shade that part in so I can see it. Now, just for the sake of clarity, since I'm already done with this line, I'm just going to erase these two lines just to help me out a little bit so there's less lines. All right, so the next section I have is this little sliver right here. So I have to go to the side of the E, move it over, and then I'm going to shade it in, just like that. All right, next section. So I'm going to erase this line because I don't need it anymore. I'm going to go to this side of the E. I'm going to move it over. And remember, I'm just drawing in this section. Those are parallel lines. I'm going to shade it in. And now I can erase that section. All right, next one. So I'm going to go to the side of the E because I have this section next. Move it over. And I'm going to try to line these two sections up, this one and this one, just for the sake of it looking better. Okay, and I shade it in. I'm going to go to the next section of the E, put my ruler on the letter, move it up. Again, parallel line. Shade it in. Now I can erase this section. And then I'm going to go to this side of the E, move it over, and then I'm going to shade it in. Okay, so now I have the E in 1-point perspective. So if I was reviewing how I was going to do this on the other letters, I'm going to make sure that I put a dot. Honestly, it's easier on each of the sections. And I guess I could do these. I don't think it would matter on there, but we'll see. And then on the L, I would do a dot here, here, and here. Okay. The T, you don't need to do anything with. And then the W, I do a dot here, 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 and there. So if this helps you out putting the dots, that's totally fine. I would continue by going ahead and drawing the lines, okay? And then making a parallel line. So I always start on the side of the letter and then make a parallel line, just like we have here. See, these two lines are parallel. These two lines are parallel. And then just like I did the E, it's the same concept. So you can go through if you want to draw all your lines first. It's fine. And then I would make a parallel line. So this one would be super skinny. Move it over. Parallel line. Shade it in. I know it looks a little funny. This one, put your ruler on the letter. Move it over. Parallel line. So at least you should be getting the L and the E correct on this paper. And then I want you to be able to do the A and the W by yourself before you go up to the teacher and say, I can't do it. I want to see you try. And I don't want you to erase it if it's wrong because I need to see what you were doing to help you get on the right track. Thanks so much, guys. Good luck.